So I'm just simply the warm-up act because, you know, when people from Sydney come up to Newcastle and the Hunter, it can be a tough old gig. There's 6 cities as part of the mega region. So 3 in Sydney and 3 Wollongong, Gosford and Newcastle.
There is an existing relationship between the Hunter and Sydney, but it's also probably fair to say when we looked into it, it's pretty one way. Sydney gets a lot out of it. I don't think Newcastle gets a lot out of it. But there is an enormous opportunity if you can start to think about how these start to collaborate with each other. What is the implication of if you're able to connect the downtown of Parramatta with Newcastle Port? What happens if all of a sudden Western Sydney Airport and the Port of Port Kembla are connected by a rail line? We're really interested in how Sydney competes not just with Melbourne and with Brisbane, but how it competes with San Francisco and with London and with Paris and New York. And when we do this sort of work, what we realise is that at the moment Sydney probably isn't competing with many of these cities, probably competing in the region with these places like Jakarta, Singapore, maybe Hong Kong. But we really need a bit of a game changer for the region if we want to see Sydney become one of the great global cities. In terms of what we are going to do next, we're currently working with the RDAs, the Regional Development Australia networks across the region, with RDA Hunter, RDA Illawarra and RDA Central Coast, to start that initial thinking about the coherent economic strategy for the region. The other immediate thing is to look around harmonising regional plans, making sure that the Greater Newcastle, the Greater Hunter plan is not conflicting with the strategy for Greater Sydney and the like.